Hello everyone and welcome back to Pikmin 3 Deluxe! In the last episode we finished off Olimar's comeback, the side story. And this episode we're going to have one final episode in the main story, wrapping up some stuff. The Piklopedia, the fruit file, and whatnot. So we didn't access story cleared, we just have day end here now, which obviously we can't start playing and that's the end. But we can replay the final day again. We're actually going to have to do 4 days because I've got to visit all four areas again. But this will be as if we are about to head... Actually, you know what? This is after we've done the Mysterious Lifeform quest. Our goal is just to go to the Formidable Oak and defeat the now active Plasma Wraith. But we're not going to do that. We're actually going to start off in the... Let's start off in the Garden of Hope. We'll go in the kind of order that we did this. Ooh, it's raining. Lovely. I do like the rain in this. So, first off, we've got some new stuff in the Piklopedia and the fruit file. We've got one new fruit at the end here, which is the Crunchy Deluge. Lots of juice in here. It's like having your taste buds washed away by a tide of sweetness. Not much in the way of Pikmin U, but nutrition isn't everything. Sometimes you just want a flood of flavour. Then we've got a few new things in the Piklopedia. We've got the sheer wig, structural flaw, soft hide. It seems odd for a flying creature to make its home underground, but that's what these insects do. When they sense motion, they surface and attack immediately. When they sense motion, they surface and take to the air immediately, then attack from above. It doesn't look like it can fly, possibly because it spends all its time under the earth. It's like a cicada, I guess. Maybe all it needs to do is cut back on its diet and exercise more. Wait, what am I saying? I can't ask it to do anything I wouldn't. Oh, a flying bug. I'll send some flying Pikmin after it. Rookie mistake. I can see why you think that, but the best Pikmin for the job is a rock Pikmin. These bugs are so lightly armoured that one hit could take them out. I could even use my steely fists, but that'd just be overkill. His steely fist thing is also particularly annoying because they took the ability for captains to fight out of this game. Grate this beast into a zest and whisk with sugar, cream, and chopped dark chocolate for a lusciously indulgent mousse that's a true culinary coup de grace. You'll notice we've now unlocked Olimar's comments, which we do for beating the game. This episode, one of the many things I'll be doing, will be going through all of Olimar's comments on everything in the Piklopedia. The watery blowhog, we actually came across it for the first time in the Formidable Oak. Structural flaw, inhaling period. Holding large amounts of water inside itself isn't as eyebrow-raising as spewing fire, but I consider this to be better design overall. Water is more easily and safely stored than flammable gas, and it has uses other than attacking. And despite this difference, it's vulnerable to the same trick, having the right type of Pikmin. Alf tried to convince me this animal has all kinds of uses. It could be a shower, he said, or a spaceship water or an emergency fire control system. I told him we had all those things already. It was like someone rained on his parade. The water this one spews isn't too bad if you ask me, but the Pikmin don't do so well in it. At least most of them don't. That's what a captain's there for, to be an umbrella for the downtrodden. This beast's unrivaled moistness gives it a melt-in-the-mouth quality that's incomparable. That's not teaching me how to cook it though, is it, Louis? And finally, the boss of the game, the Plasma Wraith. Structural flaw varies, weight unknown. What a marvel this creature is, constantly adapting to new threats. It can manipulate fire, water, electricity, and its own body to form wings or an armoured carapace. It takes several squads of Pikmin on frequently rotating duty to keep up with its shifting nature. How I wish I could construct something so effortlessly flexible. Its attacks leave behind little pieces of itself, so if you can eliminate those before it reforms, you can wear it down little by little. Wow, it really did not want to let go of Captain Olimar. Is that a budding interspecies romance I smell? Anyway, I bet that gunk would make for some good lotion. I should have bottled some up so I could sell it back on Copeye. This thing doesn't know what it wants. 1 minute it's soft, 1 minute it's hard. 1 minute it's big, then it's small. It hunts Olimar, but it doesn't want to hurt him. We're practically doing it a favour by taking it out. Anyway, that Olimar guy must ooze charisma to get such an alien creature to follow it everywhere. He's a ship captain and I'm just a squad captain, but that gives us something in common. I ought to be taking notes. Despite its refreshing citrus scent, the flavour of this beast is decidedly dangerous. We won't be doing Olimar's notes, which are a bit more kind of biological, whereas Alf's are a bit more structural, because you'll notice it says 45 out of 55. Yes, we've actually got a few more things to get for the Piklopedia, and you only unlock them by taking them back to the Onion. So, we've got a couple that I want to target here, so I'm going to bring a bunch of wings and a bunch of blues with us. Let's see if I can find what I'm after. Here's one of them. That is a white spectralid. We can chase that down with the pinks and then have it brought back to the Onion, because we need to bring back things to the Onion, crucially, in order to get the Piklopedia entry for them. Let's see what else I can find. Worth showing this off because it also might be something useful here. Here's where we fought the quaggled Myoclops, and its body's still here, but it's covered in pellet posies now. But it should also be covered in different colours of spectralids. There we go. So, up there is a red and a yellow spectralid. Oh, for God's sake, guys. Obviously didn't charge you on those. They're not the easiest to hit if you just randomly chuck Pikmin, but we should be able to target it. Oh, God. Target it. There we go. That brings the red one down, which, you'll notice, gives you a spray. A red spray. And then there's also a yellow spectralid. Can you guess what that's going to give us if we're able to actually target it successfully? Indeed, that gives us nectar. Let's bring them all back to the onion, and I'll just need to look for one more thing that should be here. There's woolly hops, but I'm not quite after them. I'm after their juvenile form. Where is it? Well, can't seem to find any here. We'll look in some other levels for it. But for now, we have got the 3 species of spectralids. So, first off, the white spectralids. Structural flaw, weak hide. There's a tiny design adjustment that can cause huge cascades of change elsewhere in a project. It makes me wonder what effect our presence here has had on the planet. You'd think with wings like that it would float away on the slightest breeze. Maybe it's working hard to stay where it is. If that's the case, it could have fooled me. It's a flighty one, in both senses of the word. But it would stay. Even if it would stay still, I wouldn't have the heart to unleash my steely fists on the poor thing. Remove the wings and drop straight into the deep fryer. Cook until golden or until the enticing aroma starts to sting your eyes. Serve immediately. Oh, it's just like how you cook locusts, which I've done because I'm weird. The red spectralids. There must be a reason for the colour variation between the various models of this creature, but I haven't figured out what it is yet. This one is probably my favourite, though. Can't go wrong with red. One of these red beauties flew really close to me when I was standing still. I took that to mean I smell as sweet as a flower. It's funny how the ultra-spicy nectar it carries doesn't seem to make it any more excitable than the rest of its kind. Maybe it's just better at keeping it together. Though red is the universally recognised symbol of danger, these creatures couldn't hurt a fly. A shame, too, because there are plenty of monster flies on this planet which could use some hurting. Spread larvae on a slice of toast for a toothsome, I don't even know what that word means, and protein-packed breakfast, or fly out the wings at any time of day for a crunchy snack. And finally, the yellow spectralids. Its only defense mechanism is its swift, erratic flight. If you can catch it when it's stationary, it's easy to take down, but there's no point unless you're desperate for nectar. If the colour yellow could fly, it would be this animal. It's so thin and papery, there's hardly anything to it apart from colour. I think I'd like to fly, but maybe not if I had to give up all my substance. This one's okay, odds wildlife on this planet goes. It's a nice shade of yellow, but not as perfect as the colour of my rubber ducky. For a tasty appetizer, dip wings into batter and fry. Can also be used to season soups and stews. Remember to remove its bitter innards first. And with that, we're done for today. We'll head to the end of the day, and we'll head down to the distant tundra. 15 Pikmin will perish. No, that's not great. So we've got 3 things I want to track down for the Piklopedia here, all of which we have seen, we've just somehow never taken home with us. So I'm just going to bring a shit ton of reds. Oh no, I think I need some pinks for a bamboo gate. Ah, I've seen the other enemy I was looking for there, which is Walpoles. Excellent. If we're very lucky, they'll launch themselves out of the water at us, otherwise I'll have to come back with blues, which is fine, just mildly annoying. Oh, we can get... Yeah, there we go. We can hit them and drag them out the water. There we go, brilliant. So with that one dead, let's return that to the onion. And then we're going to head over to here, which is this messy section that's got a couple of enemies that we need. So first off, apparently Pyroclasmic Sluchers, which I feel like I've seen an absolute shit ton of, but apparently never took one back to the onion. Because a lot of enemies, bosses and stuff, you don't have to defeat them, but a lot of enemies you have to specifically take them back to the onion. And if you never did that, then you never get them in the Piklopedia. So it is what it is. But the final ones we need are through here. We also fought all of these guys, if you remember, in an incredibly messy fight. When there was a hell of a lot going on, I was running out of time, I'd stretched myself too thin, I was frankly psychologically damaged by the fight with the shaggy long legs, and I was just not prepared for this, and there we go. Right, I'm going to be slightly crafty here and let's try an aerial bombing approach. Oh shit, lads. Lads, that's bad. Oh, well, there we go. Well, we've got one. Let's try and... Ooh, he ate a lot of things there. Let's chuck that on him. Nope, I said... Chuck! I'm going to lose those wings, but oh well, there it is. That should do a decent bit of damage to it. Hey, there we go. And we should be able to kill the rest of them. So these are our ones. We need both the dwarf and the larger, spotty bull bear. Can we get his corpse? No, we've not got enough pinks to get his corpse back with that, so we'll just Get him with that, and we'll have the reds bring the rest of it back. Cool. Oh my goodness! Oh, fuck. Oh, I know what happened there. I accidentally took a bomb rock through the fire and it fucking blew up on me. Oh, Christ. Well, fortunately this is towards the end of the game because we just lost a lot of Pikmin there. Well, we'll get that thing back with a weird hybrid. Oh god, I lost like 70 Pikmin. Fuck me, that's worse than anything that actually happened to me in the main game. Good god. Who would have guessed that I might end the game with reds, and end the series with reds being my lowest number Pikmin? I'm actually just going to spend a bit of time just getting those numbers here, because I got to do something while I wait for that ball bear to come back, so, you know. Still got nearly 200 pinks. The Scornets. Oh, Gardener created a total of 1,000 Pikmin in story mode. That's quite cool. Well, we paid for it with many lives, but we should have got a few more entries in the Piklopedia. Yep, so we have the Walpole, called something else if you're American, which is, like, the Woollyhop and the Walpole have different names in the British English version because they're slurs. In English is their original name, so I'm not going to say them. But it's a very British phrase. Walpole. It's built for one thing, swimming. On everything else, from engaging predators to environmental awareness, it kind of falls apart. You know the saying, it's more afraid of you than you are of it? This is the only thing on the planet where that actually feels true. Something about getting close to this creature at all feels like cruelty to animals. Strange how such a scrawny pushover grows to flatten Pikmin left and right. Then again, maybe it remembers being helpless and holds a grudge. Walpoles can be eaten raw, but they're much more flavoured when steamed or grilled. Also heavenly in risotto. Feel free to experiment with this lush ingredient. The Pyroclasmic Slooch. A coating of pure fire? Now that's armour, which it needs because it's very slow to both move and attack. And the fire armour does nothing against red Pikmin. Back to the drawing board with this one. Tons of style points for the Cloak of Pure Fire. I couldn't pull off a look like that, and I don't even like to leave the SS Drake when it's humid out. It's tough to beat a defence made entirely out of scorching flames. If you don't take it too seriously, it'll be way too hot to handle. Fortunately, I'm just hot-blooded enough to take it, as long as Brittany doesn't give me that icy stare. Remove tongue. Oh my god, it has got a tongue. I've never seen that fire out before. Fuck. Remove tongue and discard the rest. Cook over a charcoal grill until medium rare. The Dwarf Bullbear. The behaviour of a spotty bullbear reminds me of satellites orbiting a larger body. Like satellites, they exist in darkness and are hard to see, but can be destroyed with a well-placed strike. If it's with the larger body, though, stay away. You wouldn't want to get pulled into its gravity. This metaphor's getting away from me. It takes after the big guys in a lot of ways. They're not as brave, though. Walk up to one and just watch it run and get help. I'd laugh at it, but I'm usually running away by them myself. I'll admit, these creatures have a certain charm. I'd like to stuff one and keep it in the office as a trophy, but I'd have to pry away from the Pikmin's eager hands first. Remove the innards, stuff with sage and a finely aged prosciutto, then boil until golden brown. The ultimate crowd pleaser. Ooh, that does sound good. And finally, the adult spotty bullbear. It's sort of like the rare, limited edition version of regular bulborbs. I'm much too afraid to get close to them in the dark caves where they live, so I'm thinking about bringing a bomb rock next time. Couldn't hurt. Unless that bomb rock accidentally destroys like 5 times as many Pikmin as the fucking bullbear was going to. The red on black thing is very bold, but it's a vicious predator, so points off for that. It's big and tough, and it never backs down even when it probably should. Like some captains I could name. The first problem with this guy is that he never sleeps. The second problem is that he can gulp a whole platoon of Pikmin in one move. Well, none of my watch, Buster. I'll make you wash down that meal with a dessert of pain. For an unrivaled green curry, peel away the spotty bullbear's skin, pulverise the juicy innards, and stew until curiously fragrant. Right, on to the next day, where we're going to head to the tropical wilds. Oof, look at that hit to the red numbers. We built up, but not as many as we lost. Fuck, that's bad. And that was all just me. That was just an explosive accident of my own making. Oh, it's raining here as well. Right, we're going to split into 2 groups here. We are going to take the winged Pikmin in one direction and some Rockmin in another direction. Actually, you know what? Scrap the wings for now. We'll just do it entirely with the rocks first. Because we need to get up to this bit, and this is a kind of multi-captain operation. But this is where I know there is an armoured cannon beetle. And they are one that we don't have yet, so I'll work my way up there. The reason I'm taking rocks is because they are immune to crushing. And up here we can just beam it with some rocks. Ooh, see that thing? The rocks got hit there, but they just get squished into the ground, so that's fine. But yeah, apparently we've never bothered taking one of these corpses back. Not the Arctic ones we've done, but these ones we haven't, but probably just because they're a bit of an arse. Well, we'll get these guys out, we'll get that moving, and while that's on the way back, we will find something else. We're going to take a bunch of wings and go to where Alf crash landed, I think, is where you get a decent supply of them. It's an enemy we've seen again a shit ton of, we just never brought one back, apparently. Ah, here they are. Male shear grubs. Apparently we've never brought one of these back, so let's bring a ton of them back. Why not? So, let's have a look at what we've gathered. Indeed, we have the armoured cannon lava. It's now just not even called the armoured cannon beetle lava, which was the full name for it, because that implies the armoured cannon beetle exists, which has not existed since Pikmin 1 for some reason. It's unable to handle heavy rock, so it's strong and has expert aim, so it's clever. If it was better armoured, it would be unstoppable. Yeah, it's also weirdly not armoured to say it has that name. It has no armour at all. This thing eats rocks the way I eat fruit. Its stomach is always full, and it likes to spit out the seeds. It spews rocks as heavy as any artillery I've ever seen. Since we didn't bring any heavy artillery with us, I'd love to use this thing as a substitute. The trick will be figuring out how to lure our enemies into its line of fire. The decorated cannon beetle lava that homes in on captains isn't in this game either. You can carefully remove every grain of sand, peel back the exoskeleton, and slurp heartily, or deep fry it too. And the male shear grub. Those jaws are stronger than you'd expect. I haven't seen anything that can grip like that outside of factory robots. I don't get these creatures. They have a good thing going underground where it's dark and quiet. Why can't they snooze the days away instead of making trouble for us? These nasties are the number one reason I keep my whistle handy at all times. Not just because it's stuck to the front of my suit and I literally can't take it off. You gotta have a quick whistle finger to lead your squad to safety when you feel the ground start to rumble beneath your feet. Keep a close eye on any Pikmin with their hands full. These critters are likely to go after these first. Yeah, they can deal a surprising amount of damage in that way. Spread several specimens in the bottom of a casserole dish and layer with sliced avocado. Bake until the meat is choice and the cheese is lusciously browned. What cheese? You just said layer in a casserole dish with sliced avocado. Avocado's not a cheese. You mad lad. Clearly there's supposed to be some sprinkling of parmesan or something like that. Or no, for like grubs with kind of avocado, you'd want something like a kind of Gruyere, like a kind of squidgy French cheese kind of thing, I think. Anyway, with that aside, we've literally got one more to get, which is in the Twilight River. So for this fellow, we are going to bring 100 wings. So I believe this is actually the only puffy blowhog in the main game. We killed it, but we never took its corpse back, because it takes bloody forever for its corpse to appear. You'll see, it's kind of deflates a bit there. They looked angry in early games as well. They look a little kind of softer and more cuddly in this. Anyway, when it deflates, normally just in the old previous Pikmin games, just a bunch of, what they called, dropped there. Not tablets, pellets. But now in this game, it actually does drop a body. So let's take that back to the onion for our final bit of Piklopedia. Then it'll be pirate time as I read out all of Olimar's notes. Or not. Oh, no, yeah, I thought they were stuck on there. Well, they were stuck on there, but they figured it out. Oh, it's a few more final pinks to my collection. Because, yes, now we've got that. Xenobiologist, complete the Piklopedia. That's what we were here for this episode. The Puffy Blowhog. Most of its defense mechanisms aren't dangerous to Pikmin, but they do make it hard to kill. The streams of air it blows will scatter your Pikmin, so be sure to regroup quickly if there are other enemies around. As you might expect from something so inflated, it's very light and easily weighed down by lots of Pikmin. That's the best chance to dash in with a charge. Can you imagine attaching a gondola to the underside of this thing? That's a fucking blimp. Drifting gently through the air, not a care in the world, because I'd use the spikes on its back to crush my enemies. It's so perfect. Yeah, those spikes don't ever actually come in as either an offensive or defensive thing. This inflatable fella has some powerful lungs to make itself lighter than air, but I won't be undone. Hooah! No go. I blame the spacesuit. It's cramping my style. Slice this creature's feather-like skin into triangles, deep fry until crispy, and salt generously. Makes the perfect tortilla to accompany fresh mango salsa. And with that, we'll end this episode, and we'll read the final bit of the Piklopedia back on the Drake. Right, we've got a fresh drink, because there's a very real chance that this absolutely wrecks my vocal cords, because this is 55 bits of Olimar's pirate voice to read. Let's fucking go. If you're curious about the order here, it's literally just the order in which you got them, so there's no sorting other than that. Right, we'll start with the female shear grub. Shear grub. Man, I'm not going to read out the Latin name, because I'll just... no, for Himeagia mandibulosa. Hime is like a Japanese honorific for princess, so I guess that's what's going with the female there. But I'm not going to read that out. Mandiblard family. The males of the species are purple and black creatures with tapered mouths, while the females are lighter in colour and lack an armoured exoskeleton. As with most mandiblards, these creatures have regressed to the point where they've lost both legs and wings. They can be seen crawling around on ground and are believed to feed on the vegetable extracts from congealed fluids of expired Pikmin. Jesus. The dwarf bulbor. Breadbug family. Although initially identified as a juvenile bulb, groundbreaking new research indicates this creature is in fact a member of the breadbug family, breadbugs being not appearing in this game. A close relative of the vanilla breadbug, it escapes predation from mimicry. Unique adaptation of the bulbob's crimson coloration allows the species to safely commingle. Such an effective adaptation of obfuscation by a prey species be rare, indicating this clever creature is a master of mimicry. The bulborb. Grubdog family. This large organism has the familiar mandibles and cranial morphology of the grubdog family, as well as the characteristic bulging eyes. As with most grubdogs, this creature's cranium composes half of its total length and girth. Showing a scarlet abdomen with white spots, this creature is primarily nocturnal, choosing to prey upon smaller creatures returning to their nest. Jesus Christ, this is a lot of reading. All originally classified as a spotty bulborb. Oh, it's just the bulborb now. Further research has reclassified this creature as the basic bitch bulborb. Subspecies of varied colours have been discovered, but academics are divided into two rival camps about how to handle their classification. The Medusal Slurker. That broke my brain. Umblota family. Most of its body is translucent and gelatinous. It drifts on the wind using the puff stalk on its head and captures passerbys below with its adhesive manubrium. The purpose of this behavior is unknown, as examining its caches reveals no trace of saliva or gastric fluid on them. Unlike most aquatic jellyfish, it has no tentacles or nematocysts, making it safe to handle. Yeah, not like the spotted jellyfloats from Pikmin 2. It may even be safe to ride in, opening up exciting new transportation possibilities. The Scutter Truck. Heevil. Ha, Heevil, because it's like a weevil that chucks you. That's brilliant. And look, actually, its kind of crab-like structure does look a lot like the calcified Crushblat as well. Curious to see what Alma got to say on that. Its main offensive strategy be to launch the crystal it carries on its back, otherwise it's completely defenseless. In most circumstances, it's a peaceful herbivore whose diet consists primarily of moss. When in danger, however, it wastes no time in defending its territory by breaking small rocks and hurling them at the threat. In order to ensure it has a steady supply of rocks with which to defend itself, it shares the habitat with calcified Crushblat larvae. There we go, so it can make use of the shells they cast off each night. Ah, symbiosis, that's fun. Fiery Blowhog. Blowhog family. This creature expels a volatile phosphorus compound from its snout that combusts upon contact with air. This fire-breathing ability be dependent upon the air-to-fuel ratio in its mouth, catalyst reaction within the expelled compound, and the purification of the compound. Thus, it is highly unlikely such a complex process could cause the spontaneous explosion of a fallen blowhog. This process is also perhaps to avoid the spontaneous combustion in the belly of a live specimen. However, one should still treat a fiery blowhog with a great deal of care during transfer. The Yellow Wallahop, the Amphichuba family. This magnificent species has the brightest gold coloration and the greatest number of lateral spots of any member of the Amphichuba family. Unlike the weird cave worms, the only other one. This species seems to have lost some of its swimming proficiency with the evolution adaptation that granted it greater jumping ability. The Amphichuba inhabits aquatic shallows and shows an instinctive drive to jump on and squash smaller creatures. The Skitterleaf. Skittling family. The Skitterleaf be a relative of the pond skater that shed its wings and adapted to life on the ground. With no residual traits of its airborne past, the Skitterleaf can neither fly nor skitter across the surface of the water. The wings have since evolved into a leaf-like structure on its back, which serves to hide the Skitterleaf through mimicry. It appears quite effective, as few predators can see through this clever disguise. The Armored Mordad, the Mordad family. It makes its home inside the hollow stumps of enormous trees. The name is derived from the hard shell covering its entire body. As it grows, it can only molt its shell by slamming into rock walls to shatter it before forming a new one. It has a voracious appetite and doesn't hesitate to eat anything it sees. The contents of its stomach often be a surprise. The Arctic cannon larvae in the Lithopod family. Like other members of the Lithopod family, its internal bacteria specialize to form ice compounds from ambient moisture, which it then expels as projectiles. It technically doesn't rely on cold temperatures to create this ice, which is formed by pressure into internal fluids, which act as a coolant. Ah, it's like a fucking air conditioner or something. Like it's using the vapor compression cycle. When the projectiles rapidly expand, they absorb ambient heat, lowering the air temperature enough and the moisture in the air to freeze. Very cool. The Joustmite, Burrownet family. Oh yeah, because these are a version of cloaking burrownets. Others within this family wear their shells on their bellies, but this one's shell functions more like a helmet. Its wings have atrophied into uselessness, so instead it burrows beneath the ground and pops out only to pierce the prey with its needle-like proboscis and drain their bodily fluids. Larval joustmites remain underground for years, or even decades in some cases, again referencing cicadas which spend 13 or 17 years underground, depending on weird shit. Swooping snitch bug. Swooping snitch bug, the scarpanid family. These scarpanids originally lived on the ground, sporting poorly developed vestigial wings. This species developed a large antenna that can be used as makeshift wings. Oh, yeah, because it has got wing starchy curled around its body. Yeah, you noticed there. Scarpanids are attracted by the sight of large groups of Pikmin in cavalry formation and will swoop down to seize them. However, scarpanids don't eat Pikmin and they will drop any seized Pikmin after a short time. The reason for this behavior be unknown, but I look forward to future research in the area. The Fozbat, Aerodentia family. The infant stage of the Behemoth Fozbat has undeveloped wings and cannot yet fly. It is Scaeophileus from birth. That must be, Scaeophileus. I don't know what that means. I would guess it means afraid of the light, but that should be photophobic. Phileus implies it's a like. Does it mean it likes the dark? Yeah, tolerant of... Oh, it's a botany term, particularly of, tolerant of or enjoys shade. It is Scaeophileus from birth, to the point where even a low level of light from a common glow cap or a light bulb will cause it to vaporize. The chromatophore excretions which the adult Fozbat use for camouflage are overwhelming to its fragile infant form and cause apoptosis in excessive amounts. My own lamp doesn't trigger this reaction, possibly because the light is the wrong wavelength. Fozbat Pod, Aerodentia family. The Behemoth Fozbat's egg sacs are found affixed to surfaces in its lair. Each egg sac spawns roughly 5 baby Fozbats, stopping when enough pheromones are in the air to trigger its automatic response. This keeps the population density of Fozbats in any given cage at a sustainable level, which is important given the limited supply of food available in its habitat. The Behemoth Fozbat. It is forced to live in darkness due to its extreme photosensitivity. The specialized chromatophores on its skin can absorb faint light sources to turn completely transparent. It's like an octopus or a cuttlefish, they use chromatophores in that way. Ow. Its wings and spines be covered in a mildly toxic scales which can paralyze small insects until it can inhale them with a powerful vortex. Often, creatures that evolve in darkness have atrophied eyes and albinism, but that is notably not the case here. It does, however, have a tendency to only venture out at night with other cave dwellers. The Whiptum Bulborb in the Grubdog family. Instead of the gnashing jaws usually found in related species, it uses its extendable, viscous tongue to capture prey. Even before it opens its mouth, it's recognizable by its tapered snout and black spots against its white back. Some theorize it evolved its long tongue to snatch prey drawn to high-blooming flowers, but others point out that no infant specimens have ever been seen, suggesting a radically different biological branch. It has only recently been reclassified as part of the Grubdog family. The Orange Bulborb. This bulborb species posts a garish colour pattern with deep orange body and black spots. The orange bulborb's yellow, bloodshot eyes make it clear that this bulborb is excessively edgy and high-strung, making it much easier to wake from a deep sleep than other species in the Grubdog family. The swarming sheargrubs in the mandibulard family. As opposed to the more common varieties of mandibulards, it spends its entire life above ground without ever going below the surface. It hunts for food in packs, preferring to feed on nectar and fruit juice since its jaws are too weak to capture prey. It grows quickly after feeding, but has difficulty moving at larger size. Shaggy longlegs in the arachnorb family. Thick hair grows over its spherical center as well as its joints. One would think it's there for protection, but it's a simple matter to pluck the hairs out. Several coloration variants have been cited, most likely due to regional characteristics rather than stress or advanced age. They normally sit docile above trees, but will oh Jesus, they're fucking in the trees, it's horrifying. But will descend to scare off intruders with loud footfalls. Baldy longlegs. Apparently counts as a different species? Even though, yeah, technically this is merely a shaggy longlegs that lost its hair, that's what I fucking thought. But since the hair never grows back, this is considered a separate species. That's not how species work, and classified under its own name. In fairness, I say that's not how species work. We genuinely don't, low battery. As scientists, we don't have a solid definition of what a species is. Every definition has some exceptions. Science and classification be like this. It was thought to be something about reproducing to produce fertile offspring, but then it turns out the offspring of a lion and a tiger can be fertile, which would make lions and tigers the same species, which they're obviously not. It's a fuck you want. It has similarities with the beady longlegs, but doesn't secrete wax from its exoskeleton, and thus lacks its cousin's unique patterning. The absence of the wax allows small insects to climb its legs without slipping. Are Pikmin insects? I thought they were technically cast as plants. Weird. Its central orb splits horizontally, but researchers have yet to determine the significance of this difference. The sand-belching mere slug in the mere slug family. Gastropodiae anguilli. So gastropod would be like a slug, and anguillus is anguilli are eels. So it's basically saying eel slug. No, yeah, that kind of thing. This giant limbless invertebrate has a distinctive large orifice. Good lord. It sets a cone-shaped trap in its sandy lair and waits for prey to fall into it, like an antlion. The main orifice serves as both mouth and anus. Lovely. I can't believe that Nintendo used the word anus. Genuinely, that's quite surprising. When it inhales sand, the grains go through its intestinal canal and come out polished and hardened when they are ejected. It's sensitive to sound and vibration. The best time to catch it off guard is when it jumps out of the sand after being startled. The desiccated skittleleaf in the skittling family. This skittling variant represents dead leaves. Its legs have developed in specific ways. The front claws capture prey, while the flat hind legs are suited for running and swimming. Its highly tuned senses keep it still for any creature but Pikmin. Once it gets its claws on its prey, it doesn't easily let go. Recent research has revealed that its camouflage has a second purpose beyond hunting. Scavengers are fooled by its disguise into carrying its eggs, therefore expanding the population. Huh. And the arachnode in the arachnid family. That's quite good. It took me a moment to parse it. This spider-like creature has distinctive yellow stripes on its black carapace. It spins webs in high-traffic area and waits for prey to blunder into them. Unlike its relatives, the arachnode and dweevil families. Oh yeah, there are no dweevils in this game. It's ambisexual and has 8 legs. Sexual, also a term I wouldn't have necessarily expected to see in a Nintendo game. Some theorize that its gynandry is meant to aid in reproduction, although of course it cannot reproduce on its own. Oh, so it's like a fucking... what are they called? Platyhelminth, where each individual is male and female and has male parts towards the front and female towards the back, but they aren't self-fertile, so two of them have to kind of go opposite ways around and essentially 69 each other, and each one's male parts simultaneously fertilize the other's female parts. Nature's fucking weird. It's great. There is another theory that species is in fact 2 organisms of opposing gender stuck together, but since no one has ever found a 4-legged single-sex specimen, this remains speculative. I love how they could have gone into its feeding babies or anything like that, but like, no, we're going into a strange sexual theory the entire time. Classic Olimar. Dwarf orange bulbob in the breadbug family. Just as dwarf red bulbobs mimic the appearance of normal bulbobs, it was theorized that an orange bulbob mimicking variant must also exist. Recent fieldwork has confirmed that theory. That was not the most insightful Olimar. The flighty joustmite in the burrownit family. It's a close-knit relative of the... close-knit, because I'm using burrownit. It's a close relative of the original burrownit species, but this variety of joustmite still has the use of its wings. Oddly, it makes its habitat below the ground and employs the same tactic of lying in wait before emerging to strike. The helmet protecting its head is functionally as hard as steel due to waxy secretions in its pores which absorb and redirect any shocks it sustains. Another incredible name here, the nectarous dandlefly. Anisopterid. What does that mean? So Optera is... no, it's Iso and Terra. So Terra is wing in that way. Aniso... angled? Weird, I think. Not something like that. Ambrosius is... because Ambrosium was the substance that was believed to give people magic powers back in the day. So that's clearly the term for the nectar. Latin's fun. The dandlefly family. Its life cycle comes in 2 stages. First, it hatches underwater, where the amphibious larva preys on tadpoles and other small aquatic creatures. After it grows large enough, it takes to the surface and completely changes its diet to focus on plant nectar. The more nectar it feeds on, the more segments form on its abdomen. Upon reaching 5 segments, it is a mature adult ready for procreation. Its straw-like proboscis curled upwards to prevent reflux from the nectar it stores. Huh, well, yeah, it does curl upwards, you can see. That's quite cool. The burrowing snagret in the Snavian family. I love that. Anacondae there, meaning like an anaconda. Chiropodes, something foot. Not sure what Shiro is though. The majority of snagret species lie in wait to ambush and capture prey, with a body type so perfectly adapted to such sudden strikes. It violently attacks small surface-dwelling insects. Distributed across a relatively wide range, subspecies of snagret suited to the varying soil conditions have emerged, making the snagret the most geographically represented species, besides the bulbob. Oh yeah, because it's a pileated snagret, but I think that's it for snagret species, as far as I can remember. Visually, resembling the burrow snagret is the burrowing snarrow, the range of which partially overlaps with the snagret range. While they may appear similar, when pulled from the ground, they can be distinguished by the presence or absence of a tail and wing markings. Huh, well, snarrow ain't in this game, though. The scornet in the hunt and peck family. These highly social insects always travel in groups. Each of them has a unique role in the colony. This type is a small, although still adult worker female. Rather than lay eggs, they spend their lives carrying out the queen's will. In response to their queen's sonic commands, they move in unison as if they were a single entity. To see them dance through the air is a sight to behold, but don't look too long. Their stingers be deadly. Killed 130 of them because of this. The ones you kill as part of the Maestro fight all count. They're probably the enemy we have killed the most in this. The scornet maestro in the hunting peg family. Known for its striking lyriform mouth, it does not settle at a particular nest, but migrates across the waters in search of food. In the spring, the maestro awakens from its hibernation. Before the advent of summer, she travels with a male partner to the cooler climate of the mainland, where food is plentiful. The male is smaller than the maestro, with a white body and blue feet, black back and tendrils, has no wings, and thus cannot fly or appear in this game. The maestro secretes a pheromone to control its workers to carry out its command, which it issues via complex musical cues. When the maestro is no more, the listless and directionless workers perish along with the rest of the colony. The iridescent flint beetle in the flint beetle family. Flint beetles be nocturnal, choosing to hide in the grass by day and stay active at night. These creatures keep undigested food pellets in their stomach to sustain them through the winter, but given the right stimulus, they will spit them out. Recent research has revealed that these pellets are enveloped in a membrane that seals and preserves them in a sterile, airtight environment. If kept at room temperature, it seems this pellet membrane will keep its contents fresh for up to 6 months. The membrane may be made from the same substance that gives the exoskeleton of the flint beetle its beautiful sheen. This species is a subspecies of a previously documented species, recognizable by the variant pattern on its back. The spotted fish. That's pseudocephalopoda, so like fake octopus essentially. Achieving a translucent look without iridophores and featuring 2 tentacles instead of 10 are the signature characteristics of the Squirtler family. Its radial fins, representing the petals of a flower, lend it a certain beauty as it swims, making it a popular ornamental pet. It can heal light abrasions and cuts via photosynthesis through its symbiosis with zooxanthilla. Like a coral, that's how that works, with symbiosis with zooxanthellae. So if you engage it, be sure to finish the job. The puckering blino in the ellipse family. Many assume it's undeveloped due to its large eyes and lack of fins, but this is simply its normal, fully grown form. Though its dorsal and ventral fins have atrophied, the long caudal fin, that's the tail fin, helps compensate for that. It can leap high enough out of the water to catch low-flying prey. Yeah, we see them do that. The scales comprising the round patches along the side are known to turn light pink during breeding season. The waddlepuss in the flubber family. Its large eyes and stubby feet make it look like an octopus, hence the name, but it's closer in anatomy to a starfish. It's nocturnal and sleeps by day, but stays alert for approaching predators, which it drives up by puffing itself up and releasing bubbles. Closer research suggests that the true purpose for the bubbles be to protect its eggs during the spawning season. Oh, my fucking throat. The toady bloister in the mollusking family. This species of creature has yet to fully evolve from shelled mollusk to the more advanced bloister. Compared to the bloister, this creature is significantly smaller. The fact that its mandibles do not protrude as significantly as the ranging bloister, which is a boss in Pikmin 2, due in part to the fact that, like most mollusks, its vital internal organs are located deep within the creature's carapace. The flower-like appendage on its back is actually a gill. It prefers a watery habitat from which it can capture unsuspecting small prey with its sticky tendrils. The bug-eyed chromad in the chromad family. Like its close cousin, the hermit chromad, it makes its home in a burrow rather than a shell. It has abnormally overdeveloped eyes with which to detect prey in cloudy water or low-visibility mud. It's a lot like a mantis shrimp. These enormous eyes can perceive circularly polarized light as well as ultraviolet at ends of the spectrum. A lot like a peacock mantis shrimp there. The peacock mantis shrimps can't see circular polarization. That's actually taken from cuttlefish who can do that because they have weird W-shaped pupils. Welcome to Biology Rants with the Doctor. This is technically what literally I have a doctorate in, and I do forget that sometimes, but there we go. It's well protected from predators, allowing it to live for upwards of 50 years and grow to immense size by repeated ecdysis. Ecdysis is shedding exoskeleton to grow, that all arthropods have to do. The quaggled Myoclops in the Myoclops family. A rule of thumb be that the larger a creature is, the more it must consume to support its body weight. The quaggled Myoclops is no exception. It uses its root-like legs to drain its environs of nutrients to the point where puncturing it could improve the entire area's ecosystem. I guess that's why it dies. It also catches small insects using a hidden, disgusting tongue found in the wide mouth all around its circumference. What prey it manages to catch, it dissolves to their base compounds such as nitrogen, phosphoric acid, and potassium. Its insides are fertile ground for a wide range of plants, including sleeping beauty and dusty mushrooms. Some theorize that the fruit-like growth atop the main body is itself a parasitic species living off the nutrients it drains from the Myoclops' enormous body. Fascinating in so many ways. The peckish aristocrab in the onion shell family. Its unnaturally large claw is used for catching prey for self-defense and most surprisingly for its mating call. Oh, it's like a fiddler crab, they do that. They have one big claw and a second smaller one. They kind of make snapping noises with it to communicate. Most aspects of the crab's life revolve around it, which might explain why the crab becomes fearful and docile when the claw be damaged. It will also account for the claw's remarkable regenerative capabilities, which can restore it completely in a single night. It's also known to blow bubbles when under attack, but this is a result of it venting from the wrong discharge valve when under extreme stress. Yeah, the restoring claw is quite interesting. So a lot of crabs have two types of claw. They have a cutter claw and a crusher claw. The crusher one tends to be bigger and heavier. If they lose the crusher, what they'll usually do is, if they lose the cutter, they'll just regrow the cutter because it's smaller and weedier. But if they lose the crusher, the cutter that they have remaining will bulk up and grow into a new crusher, and the new limb that regrows back will be a cutter. So by looking at the handedness of like which side's on it, you can have an idea of if they've lost a claw in the past. It's quite cool. The skeeter skate in the Spitter Spatter family. Fuck, that was a challenge. It skates on water at high speed thanks to tiny hairs on the tips of its feet. It is like a pond skater. These hairs be coated in an ultra-hydrophobic substance to minimize friction against the water's surface. That's not how pond skaters work, though. Just the hairs just provide enough surface area, like a gecko, that they can just walk on a wall or something like that. Just surface area be weird. Its long proboscis functions as a straw to take in water, which is stored in a reservoir in its head, as well as a spout to use as a weapon against small insects. While taking in water, it also takes in microscopic plankton, meaning that its prime means of defense is also a feeding mechanism. Oh, so it's like a filter feeder. The water dumper in the grub dog family. Like, that's the same as bulbobs. A resident of freshwater pools and marshes, this aquatic creature regularly feeds on insects that land on the surface of water. It shares a nearly identical skeletal structure with its close relative and terrestrial cousin, the bulbob. This may offer some clues to its evolutionary insight and suggest that it only recently migrated to an aquatic habitat. The bearded amprat in the numbaus. Numbaus. I suppose it's supposed to be numbaus. Nummouse is what's going for there. The hair covering its face works as a capacitor. It charges electricity by rubbing the hair to build static, then discharges that to its enemies on its territory. It's more territorial than aggressive, attacking only when threatened rather than to hunt prey. It has several qualities unique to this ecosystem, such as producing milk for its young, which may someday give rise to a whole new taxonomy of fauna. Yeah, that is a bit weird. It's clearly the only mammal around here. The calcified crushblat. Originally, these creatures be water-based mollusks. Their hard shell let them live on land by keeping its soft flesh from being exposed to predators. It absorbs nutrients from the water through its skin, which is a relatively inefficient way of feeding compared to hunting. As a result, it spends most of its time sedentary due to its low metabolism. The crystal shell in its back is made of silica that it absorbs. The shells are shed by younger crushblats find use as projectiles by scutterchucks. We didn't know that already. Very cool. Hermit crawmad in the crawmad family. Looking at the eyes and sickle-shaped legs characteristic of squillers, one would think this is a squiller relative. I don't know what a squiller be. In fact, it's a relative of the hermit crab. This species, however, has migrated from seaside life in a shell and instead inhabits burrows along the ground. While its legs appear sickle-like, they are actually pincers used to snap at its prey. It feeds on small creatures that pass by its lair, dragging them inside to eat it. Horrifying. The sheer wig. Unusual for their genus, flying mandibulars have retained their wings. However, only the adult males of this species can fly. Females of this species spend most of their lifespan underground. They do emerge for a period after maturation to spawn, but they never metamorphose. The watery blowhog. A variant of the subspecies of the fiery blowhog, the watery blowhog lacks several of the dominant genes necessary for the production of the fire-producing catalysts, and thus expels jets of the non-flammable liquid. This subspecies appears to have only recently evolved. However, the hereditary traits of this variant are dominant and highly robust, so its population is increasing rapidly. The plasm wraith, unknown species and unknown family. This unusual life form consists of an amorphous body around a hard cubic core. The body can shift not only into different shapes, but also into different substances. It reminds me very much of the water wraith, and it's just as fucking terrifying in a lot of ways when you're gonna run away from it. I know my controller's running low on battery. I've been recording for a while now. I do need to charge it, but I'm nearly done. And at first I wondered if it was actually an ectoplasmic incarnation. However, others have seen and encountered it enough to dispel that theory. Oh yeah, the Olimar still theory is that the water wraith is a hallucination caused by being too long underground. The creatures living near the plasma wraith must be formed from its gelatinous substances. They all liquefy upon its death. It's not clear what purpose they serve for the wraith. It's currently unknown what caused the hole in its torso. Some sort of manifested psychic wound? But the search for the cause of this may lead us down to the path of unraveling history of evolution on this planet. The Walpole. The Wallyhop spawns in early spring, laying its eggs on low-hanging tree branches and scrubs growing in or around lakes and ponds. Such unorthodox and amphibious behaviour is a defence mechanism, protecting the eggs from predation by blue Pikmin and water dumples. Some frogs do that in real life. They lay their eggs either in like plants that have leaves that gather water, where they then develop entirely in that plant and then escape once they're an adult, or on the edges of plants, and basically if a wasp or like some kind of insect predators come to attack them, the eggs or the tadpoles and the leaves, they just drop down into the water below. Hopefully there's water below, otherwise they're fucked. The Wallyhop's wild hopping near the shoreline in early spring is thought to be a method of driving predators away from the Walpole eggs. Interesting. The Pyroclastic Slooch in the Slooch family. The species of terrestrial snail coated in a flammable mucus instead of the traditional shell. The creature stays lubricated through constant secretion of mucus, so the fires never reach its skin. The most fascinating aspect of these creatures be their instinctive ability to avoid causing widespread fires by carelessly brushing plants. The Dwarf Bull Bear. A grub dog larva in its third stage of development, this creature's body structure is nearing maturation. However, unlike mature bull bears, it has yet to claim its own patrol route. See, these things aren't nocturnal and they patrol around a lot, whereas all the the other grub dogs are all nocturnal and thus found asleep. It is dependent on its parent for guiding direction. A mid-sized species within the grub dog family. Oh yeah, it is mid-sized because the larger ones, like the emperors and sovereign bullblaxes, aren't in this game. A mid-sized species within the grub dog family, the spotty bullbear's unique feeding habits set it apart from other grub dogs. The spotty bullbear patrols a set path searching for prey instead of passively feeding on creatures that wander into a limited territorial range. When entering bullbear habitat, it is wise to proceed with extreme caution until the bullbear's patrol path can be clearly identified. White spectralids in the flutterby family. That's a good one. It's remarkably similar to unpatterned Bethrin, but the telltale wing patterns and lone pair of hind legs give it away. Oh yeah, because unmarked spectralids actually aren't in this game, just the white ones. It sticks to its own habitat for the most part, though it may fly away to reach a flower or escape a bullblax, it will soon return to its home. The white variety gathers no nectar, but may sometimes be found carrying a pellet. The red spectralid, their red wings have several spots, unlike the lone spot on each wing of the yellow variety. Its scales contain trace amounts of ultra-spicy flakes, which are mixed into its saliva as it sucks up nectar from flowers. The combined flakes, saliva, and nectar are refined into ultra-spicy nectar inside the creature, which it uses as a growth supplement for its eggs. Despite this, it Christ. My throat's falling apart. I'm nearly done, I think. Oh my god. Sound like I've been smoking. Oh, drink. Despite this, its reproductive capabilities be quite low. It's for this reason that the red variant fetches astronomical prices among collectors. The yellow spectralids. The primary morphological difference between this and other spectralids is the eye spot on its hind wings. When crossbred with the red spectralids, Option has a 25% chance of inheriting these spots on orange wings. Would this count as a new subspecies? The armoured cannon larva are also in the lithopod family. This species is a lithopod larva. No lithopods are in this game, though. No adults, at least. This specimen was unable to confirm the existence of any mature lithopods, leading to concerns that the species was extinct on this planet. Well, if there's larva, they're not extinct, it's still the same species. But the discovery of the creature in larva form eased such concerns. Each time here, I'm not reading the sentence, and I'm talking shit about Olimar before he gets there. Lithopods, like flint beetles, use internal metabacteria to aid chemical digestion. These metabacteria can only survive certain environments, such as within the body of certain insects, so lithopod larvae do not contain any metabacteria immediately after hatching. Larvae feed on partly digested or regurgitated by mature lithopods, ensuring they obtain the metabacteria they otherwise would not have acquired. Yeah, internal bacteria and acquisition is a wacky thing. Like, humans get some of ours through our placenta, but we get a lot through breastfeeding, and like that's the whole like gut microbiome thing. Kind of has to be implanted in us early on. It's not a thing that just not naturally, but passively develops from the environment. The male shear grub in the mandibulid family. This specimen be a male shear grub. Having lost both legs and wings, the male burrows into the soil and waits to ambush small creatures that pass by. This beast's mandibles can be dangerous, making creatures such as Pikmin easy prey. And finally, the puffy blowhog. Sus inflator literally means blow up pig. That's fucking brilliant, because Sus is pig in Latin. This species of blowhog uses internally generated hydrogen to inflate a flotation bladder and hover above the ground. The creature's electrified pulse creates a sash of colour that flows along the surface of its body, making it a particularly beautiful blowhog species. Precisely how it's able to stabilise its highly explosive hydrogen and simultaneously generate electricity remains a mystery. The puffy blowhog blows leaves and grass around to eat the insects underneath, except it can't eat Pikmin. It maintains mid-air buoyancy by using its fins and releasing air through blowholes. This enables it to float effortlessly, even in the breeze. In times of danger, the puffy blowhog can decompress its flotation bladder for a rapid escape from predators. Or just as death. And there we go! No, I'm not redoing another day's expedition. Back to title screen. And we're done with the main game. But there's other stuff going on. If we fire up the menu, we will see. We have mission mode, and we have bingo battle. Both of these are 2-player, and I'm recruiting the help of a second gentleman for that, but that second gentleman has a small child and is quite difficult to get hold of, so those may not air immediately after this. There might be a bit of a interruption to your servers, depends when I can pin the man down. But that will be what comes next on Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Hope you'll join me then. Thank you very much, and good day.